Hello, you're watching the news from Bahrain International with Samra Ajawi. The speeches of His Majesty the King in regional and international meetings confirm the Kingdom of Bahrain's firm approach in supporting efforts to enhance human solidarity and achieve development and peace. The speech delivered by His Majesty the King during the consultative meeting of the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council and the Gulf Summit with the countries of Central Asia included many important contents for the benefit of the countries and peoples of the region and the world. The content of the speeches of His Majesty the King in regional and international meetings have always been admired and praised by the international community, which confirm the Kingdom of Bahrain's firm approach in supporting efforts to enhance human solidarity and achieve development and peace throughout the world. The speeches of His Majesty the King always focuses on enhancing human rapprochement and stability of relations between all parties to the international family, strengthening political understandings, achieving economic integration, knowledge and cultural exchange, security and defense partnerships to preserve the security and stability of states. His Majesty the King's speech at the consultative meeting of the GCC leaders and the Gulf Summit with the countries of Central Asia emphasized the importance of building a regional society based on peaceful coexistence and mutual trust, and preserving the sovereignty of states and their right to a long-term development renaissance, indicating that the key to achieving a sustainable collective renaissance requires taking more serious measures to confront crises. It strengthens the areas of security coordination to protect and secure freedom of maritime navigation for oil and energy supplies, global trade, and the prohibition of weapons of mass destruction. His Majesty also stressed the importance of linking the outcomes of the strategic dialogue and political coordination in line with the international policies and international commitments, in accordance with institutional frameworks and mechanisms to achieve the goals of sustainable development in its broad fields. The joint statement issued by the Gulf Cooperation Council and Central Asia Countries Summit held recently in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, praised the results of the Bahrain Dialogue Forum East and West for Human Coexistence, held in 2022 in the Kingdom of Bahrain under the patronage of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, in cooperation with the Sheikh of Al-Azhar and President of the Council of Muslim Elders, Dr. Ahmad Al-Tayyib, and His Holiness Pope Francis, Pope of the Catholic Church. The organization of the forum is a testament to the status of the Kingdom of Bahrain as an oasis for security and peace, and a global beacon for religious tolerance, dialogue, and peaceful coexistence among all religions, sects, cultures, and civilizations, under the wise, humane, and diplomatic approach of His Majesty the King. The efforts and directives of the government, headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. The Kingdom of Bahrain will remain an inspiring model for the protection and promotion of human rights and coexistence between religions, sects, and races, in light of its respect for religious freedoms and the continuation of its pioneering initiatives globally to promote religious tolerance, reject intolerance and hatred, and establish the values of dialogue, understanding, and human and civilized coexistence among members of the human family in their intellectual, religious, and cultural diversity. The leaders stressed the importance of strengthening political and strategic relations between the two sides at the collective and bilateral levels, and continuing political coordination in order to achieve regional and international security and stability, face the challenges, and work to ensure the flexibility of supply chains, transportation and communication, food security, energy security, as well as water security, pushing for building cooperation relations in developing green and renewable energy sources and technologies, creating business opportunities, supporting investment opportunities, and increasing trade exchange. The third strategic dialogue between Bahrain and the United States was held in Washington, where the Kingdom of Bahrain's delegation was headed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, while the U.S. side was headed by the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. Dr. Al-Zayani expressed pleasure in participating in the third strategic dialogue meeting, noting the importance of joint work in addressing regional and global issues, as well as embracing coexistence and combating extremism. For his part, the U.S. Secretary of State said Bahrain is an ally and long-term partner of the U.S., expressing pleasure with holding the strategic dialogue between the two countries and the desire to deepen and expand the cooperation in all fields. During the meeting, the two sides discussed the course of the close historical friendship and the strategic partnership between the two friendly countries. They also discussed aspects of political, economic, security, and cultural cooperation and the ways to develop them for the benefit of the two friendly countries and peoples. They discussed the joint efforts in the fields of regional security, maritime security, and confronting emerging threats and transnational dangers. The two sides discussed ways to develop economic relations within the context of the free trade agreement between the two countries. They also discussed the aspects of cooperation to promote universal values, human rights and fundamental freedoms, and combat trafficking in persons, and praised Bahrain for maintaining the first rank in the annual Trafficking in Persons report for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The two sides affirmed their commitment to strengthening the regional cooperation within the Negev Forum working groups. The two sides also discussed developments in the regional and international situation, the current crises in the Middle East, and the threat they pose to regional stability, security, and international peace.
I'm honored to meet Your Excellency to review the relationship between the United States and the Kingdom of Bahrain, a relationship that extends for more than 130 years. It started with health diplomacy by having the first ever hospital in the region.
That's right.
The American Missionary Hospital. And then it was followed by a defense diplomacy by having the first two U.S. naval vessels stationed in Bahrain to ensure the security of the oil supply.
Bahrain, of course, is a long-standing ally and partner of the United States. I'm particularly pleased today that we will be working on our third strategic dialogue, and this is only further evidence of the importance that we attach to the relationship between the United States and Bahrain, and deepening and expanding cooperation in a whole host of areas that the strategic dialogue will be covering. We also stand strongly together for security in the Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, and we are working in close coordination on a series of regional challenges. I also have to mention that we were together as part of the Negev Forum last year, and we look forward to continuing that process, which we believe can, in a very practical way, deepen and strengthen integration throughout the region, which will be, I think, a powerful source of security, stability, and prosperity.
The Kingdom of Bahrain and the United States of America have strong strategic relations in light of common desire to develop them in various fields. Cooperation between the two friendly countries also includes support for the international efforts aimed at consolidating the foundations of security and enhancing stability efforts in the region and the world in a manner that supports development paths regionally and internationally. These relations are distinguished by the historical ties between the government and people of the two friendly countries, which strengthened cooperation efforts and reached more advanced stages, which resulted in the inauguration of the first strategic dialogue between Bahrain and the United States in 2020. The strategic dialogue reflects the commitment of the two countries to strengthening the joint efforts to consolidate bilateral cooperation in various fields. The dialogue also promotes increasing opportunities for trade exchange between the two countries in light of the free trade agreement that was signed in 2006. Both countries are keen to support international efforts to enhance security and stability, in addition to supporting peace efforts, combating terrorism, and promoting the values, principles, and human and civilized coexistence. Bahrain and the United States signed a defense cooperation agreement in 1991, as Bahrain is the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. The United States also designated the Kingdom of Bahrain as a major non-NATO ally in October 2001. The American Mission Hospital of the National Evangelical Church has been operating in Bahrain for more than a century, which has strengthened the humanitarian and social ties between the two friendly people. The Kingdom of Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, is moving forward through the Comprehensive Development March in achieving the desired aspirations and goals. One of the fruits of this march was the growth of the Bahraini-American relations, which witnessed a remarkable development at all levels. The Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, Amna bint Ahmed al-Rumaihi, and the Minister of Sustainable Development, Noor bint Ali al-Khlayf, met with a group of Bahraini professionals working in global companies and institutions specializing in financing, banking, technology, sustainability, and social development on the sideline of their visit to New York to participate at the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development 2023. The Minister of Housing and Urban Planning shared her pride in the achievements of Bahrainis working abroad across all sectors. In particular, she congratulated them on their competence, commitment, innovation, and dedication. She also noted that this comes as an affirmation of the capabilities of Bahraini talent and their great potential to not only be present but to compete in global markets. The Minister of Sustainable Development expressed immense pride in the Bahraini professionals in New York as ambassadors of the Kingdom of Bahrain abroad in their respective sectors and fields of work. She stressed the value of vibrant and capable human capital as a cornerstone for achieving sustainable development. She also explained the interplay between human capital and the effective delivery of all government plans and programs through investment in education, training, youth support, and women's empowerment. Registration of children born between September and December 2017 for the first grade of the academic year 2023-2024 has commenced at the Education Ministry's Hall in Isa Town. The Minister of Education, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak Jum'a, said the decision was taken by the ministry following the approval of the cabinet, chaired by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. He indicated that the move confirms the great interest of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister in developing education in the kingdom. The registration of the remaining children will be as follows: Sunday, July the 23rd, children born in October 2017. Monday, 24th July, children born in November 2017. July 25th, Tuesday, children born in December 2017. And Wednesday and Thursday, July 26 and 27, children who have missed their registration dates. The President of the University of Bahrain, Dr. Fuad Al-Ansari, has approved the results of admission of students applying to join the university for the academic year 2023-2024, who have met the admission requirements according to the principles of competitiveness by referring to the cumulative averages in the high school exam. Dr. Al-Ansari said that the University of Bahrain continues to embrace high school graduates with an average of 70% or more, according to the capacity fits programs in the various faculties, indicating that the university was able to absorb a large percentage of applications for enrollment thanks to the great support received by the university from His Majesty the King and the continued follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, stressing that this generous support reflects confidence in the university's ability to continue to perform its pivotal role and supply the labor market with qualified graduates. He said that the university will harness all its capabilities to accommodate them and help them achieve academic and knowledge to continue their academic career.